public notice. And there's different ways to make public notice. Some through YouTube, a very popular form of public notice now. Others through audio. Others through email. I leave it up to you. But once we go through these words, think, is it worth it? Ultimately, do we care enough? Let's start. Let those who have eyes see, and I'm going to read through this, so I'll go through some of these and then we'll stop and we'll go through. So I'm reading the Ritus Verum, the document that you can download from one-heaven.org. So let those who have eyes see, let those who have ears hear the truth of this most sacred writ before all men, women, children, as witnessed by the divine and all spirits. All possess the right to be heard, whether or not we agree with the ideas expressed. And by virtue of our absolute immutable right of free will, we may choose our own actions and what to believe or not to believe. And all possess the right over their own thoughts and opinions, as no one can rightfully claim ownership of your own mind except you. And your mind is the general executor and sovereign authority over your own body. And so no force may rightfully claim possession over your flesh unless your mind surrenders and allows it to be so. And no person, corporation, or group may claim ownership of the cells of your own body or the genetic code that forms life and who and what we are. And all possess the right and ability of reason through the existence of their conscience, sometimes attributed to the existence of a soul, enabling choices between what is considered right and wrong. And even if we have on occasion surrendered our sovereignty, no force, nor person, nor being can truly own your soul, mind, or flesh, just as no corporation, society, or person may claim ownership of the land, water, or air. And we are all merely tenants on this beautiful planet that sustains life. No one possesses a blood right, birthright, prior right, nor divine right of ownership or rule over any other. And no one may claim to be superior or others to be inferior based on the color of their skin or nature of their birth or religion. And whilst there may be times that we are forced or tricked to say or do things against our nature, unless we may be under duress, you are responsible for your own actions and choices. And indeed, there are some who may seek to trick us into false belief and false hope, only to find such trust is wrenched from us when we are faced with the truth. There are many more who seek to control us through ideas created by others, encouraging us to believe and sometimes to fear. And whatever your beliefs, whatever your fears, let them not cloud the right for these words to be heard completely first before they be judged. And therefore, let these truths be posted, noticed, recorded, and published, so all may read, and so all who choose to read may know. And let no man or woman deface, defile, remove, or destroy this sacred writ, lest they be judged by all those, including their parents, kin, and ancestors, past leaders, teachers, and heroes, in whose name this instrument be promulgated. So let me stop there and just explain what those first few truths are all about. When you hear them, I hope that all that are listening on the live audio and all those who will be listening to the call later feel a sense of almost self-evident nature to them. They're things that have been spoken of many times before, and they're things that everyone should agree, hopefully, that relate to them. No one can claim your body. No one can claim your soul. No one can claim your mind. But we make these statements because when we challenge those that are ruling this world, indeed, their claims are over our mind. Their claims are over our soul and indeed over our body. Let's continue now to move through the next section. And again, I will stop at certain areas just to explain the reason behind these. So number 16. To begin then, let us consider then that no matter how complex or challenging our life or our world, that much of what we see is nothing more than a complex mosaic of ideas. And some ideas are considered essential by most for our survival, such as money, technology, and the idea of belief itself. And other ideas, such as why we choose only a handful of food crops from the thousands of edible plants in the world, are less well considered ideas. And while we are free to form our choices and opinions, it is an absolute fact that most of the ideas we choose to believe are created by someone else and then adopted by us, with little change or investigation into the idea. And words are symbolic ideas to which certain ideas of meaning have been attached by others, sometimes many hundreds or thousands of years ago. Yet, we trust meanings to be true and we choose to believe. And stories, such as history, are ideas written by others we choose to believe about ideas of certain events that are supposed to have occurred, sometimes many thousands of years before we were born. Yet, we trust the story ideas to be true and we choose to believe. And religion itself is an accumulation of ideas, some of which are claimed to have come directly from the divine source and claim divine events, written in stories called scripture, often written from hearsay and not first-hand. Yet, we trust the religious ideas to be true and choose to believe. Indeed, so many of us trust and believe the religious and historical stories sold to us by certain families and owners claiming most property of the world as theirs, that we believe certain people to be the rulers of the world as the 1%, while the rest of us live like slaves as the 99%. And yet, far from some adopted ideas being neutral, harmless, some ideas, such as divine right of rule, are extremely dangerous and have the power to alter our perception of not just the world around us, but our family and who we think we are. And the most dangerous ideas are those ideas that promote and convince us to believe we are less, that we are weak, that we are unworthy, that we must somehow accept we will never be more than a slave. This is, in effect, what keeps the world the way it is. Because there are certain families of people who make claims to others for their absolute loyalty on the basis that they possess unique blood rights of rule, hold unique rights of history or powers, and therefore must be obeyed without question. And so what, in essence, is an idea? How might we distinguish between sound ideas that help us and false ideas such as the divine right of rule that have imprisoned us, inhibited us, or tricked us? In essence, an idea need not be complex to be worthwhile, to come to life and existence. And the mere existence of an idea is sufficient to validate itself. Whether it's true or false is relative to other ideas. And one of the simplest and most powerful ideas is that the meaning of an idea is equivalent to unique collective awareness, and vice versa. And by unique collective awareness, UCA, we mean an idea that is both unique and part of the wider universe of ideas or awareness in which we exist. Therefore, the name of an idea is sufficient proof of its existence in some form. The claimed completion and comprehensiveness of an idea is relative to other standards. And even the repudiation of the validity of an idea requires its name and therefore existence. Therefore, only ideas that cannot be named nor described may be said to have no existence. For example, whether one believes or does not believe in the existence of the divine creator is immaterial to the fact that the idea of the existence of the divine creator exists. Existence, in essence, is an observer and an object observed, and therefore named. Without the observer and the observed, there can be no existence. An existence of the universe depends upon both rules and matter. Matter without rules cannot exist in universal reality. Therefore, rules without matter cannot exist in reality. And rules without matter may exist only as an idea. Therefore, we can say that rules are equivalent to unique collective awareness without form. And matter is equivalent to the idea of form and dimension. Therefore, we can say that matter is equivalent to unique collective awareness within form. And the only example of dimension being created in the universe is a dream. And the only example of a system whereby rules exist in theory and then rules and matter exist in reality is a dream. Therefore, existence is equivalent to the dream of unique collective awareness in form, according to some rules. Hence, we may call the universe UCADIA. Therefore, the divine creator is equivalent to the idea of unique collective awareness and UCADIA. As we have just proven, existence itself depends on the existence of the divine creator. Therefore, we refute any ecclesiastical claim that existence of the divine is dependent on faith and faith alone. We reject the false and convoluted arguments by science which protest the divine does not exist in support of the needs of their religious patrons. And instead, we rely upon the wisdom of unique collective awareness and the proof that every living thing is proof of the existence of the divine. Every man and woman and child are proof of the existence of the divine. And no longer shall false faith nor fear determine our collective fate. Thus, when we speak of the divine creator, we mean the total collection of meaning and definition of all objects, matter, rules, life, mind, universe, and spirit, also known as the absolute, the all, the is, the unique collective awareness, UCADIA, and other historic names when used to describe the greatest of all possibilities. And as the divine means a set of all sets, there is nothing greater. Therefore, everything else is lesser, including but not limited to the idea of law. And a law is a rule derived from divine instruction, scientific discovery, agreement, custom, or practice over time enjoining or prohibiting certain action. And a canon means rule, bar, norm, maxim, measure, or standard. Therefore, when canon law is in agreement with divine law, it may be regarded as the highest standard law and rule of law. The highest law of all law is therefore divine law, then natural law, then cognitive law, then positive law. Divine law is the law that defines the divine and clearly demonstrates the spirit, mind, purpose, and instruction of the divine, including the operation of the will of the divine through existence. Therefore, all